everybody, this is Johanna. Today, let's talk about something that's on the forefront of all of our minds, epidemics and how to cure them. In the 19th century, there's a wide array of medical books and herbal remedy books, but today we're going to try out making a mustard plaster, which some people even use today. So mustard plaster is just 3 simple elements. These mustard seeds, which I have here in a bowl, I've got a bag of flour, and I've warmed some water over on the fire behind me. Now, I've already taken the liberty of going ahead and taking my mortise and pestle and grinding up the mustard here. So I'm going to add this to the bowl. A lot of this is all about just eyeing it, more so than perhaps measuring it out, as a lot of receipts are historically. So I've put my ground up mustard seeds in there, get my flour out, and I'll add this to our mix. This is just normal baking flour. Now it's important to note that mustard plaster is really best for putting it on your chest. It'll help you if you have some sort of a cardiovascular problem or congestion in your chest. So let's get our warm water. Alright, so I've got my pan of hot water. I'm just going to add water in until it makes a really nice thick paste. And this hot water is actually going to help activate the ground up mustard seed. I'm going to mix these up. It almost looks like some sort of a cake batter here. Now this right here is a little bit too runny, so I've added a little bit more flour, again to make it a nice paste consistency. You can smell the mustard. You know you've done it right when you can really kind of feel the burn in your nose from your mustard. That's what's gonna alleviate that congestion. All right, I think we've about gotten it. Of course, this is just a little bit. You'd want more if you were really going to use it medicinally. The other thing about a mustard plaster is that you want to have some sort of a layer. You don't want to directly apply it to the skin because it will burn you. All right, so here it's our simple mustard plaster that could then be applied to the patient to alleviate their symptoms. In these medical guides, along with tinctures and pastes, they also list lots of different herbs that you can use. These are found throughout our site and would be found in a garden in the 19th century. First, we have Queen Anne's lace. This is actually a diuretic, as followed by a lot of the medical guides. We've also got variations of mint. Here we have a little bit of chocolate mint. I have spearmint, as well as normal mint. These are all used to bring down fevers, and they actually put in a tea, do quite a good job, supposedly historically. There's rosemary, which is used for a grand number of different things, including it's recommended to keep away flies, so to prevent disease. Also keep things fresh, which as you'll find out is very important to health, so they think in the 19th century. We have some dandelion leaves, which can be used in a salad to really keep up different vitamins. Again, a preventive that can be used. And finally, we have some plantain, which today grows all throughout our site. And this is really helpful. It actually can help bee stings. Historically, I would just chew it up, make a poultice of it, essentially by chewing it, and then put it on any bee sting that you've sustained. And of course, the aforementioned mustard seeds can also help alleviate arthritis. We also see different herbs that we don't have here today, such as lavender, which actually supposedly helps with a falling sickness. We have blackberries, which help with the digestive tract and the gut. We have certainly apple cider vinegar, which also helps with dehydration and arthritis. There are a number of different herbs used and listed in these medical guides from both the 18th and the 19th centuries.
If anyone was discovered to be sick, the widely accepted thing to do was quarantine that sick person in a bright room that had a good airflow as well as a lot of sunshine and clean air, as all of these things were supposed to be the best of healers. It was advised to anyone attending or visiting the sick room to only go when and if the windows were opened and there was a good airflow. You are not supposed to be by a sick person in a confined room for more than a few minutes. Isn't this starting to sound familiar? So while some of the things that we've talked about, different herbs and tinctures, might sound familiar to you, there are also some quirkier things in a lot of these medical guides from the period. One is from Dr. Chase's Recipes of Information for Everybody, an invaluable collection of about 800 practical recipes. This one we're specifically talking about today is toad ointment for sprains, strains, laying back, rheumatism, which is of course arthritis, as well as several other things. This specific recipe, it calls for 4 live toads of good size, put into boiling water and cook very soft. Then take them out and boil the water down. Add 1 pint of fresh churned butter, unsalted, and simmer together. At last, add tincture of arnica, 2 ounces. It says this is obtained from an old physician who thought more of it than of any other prescription in his possession. Some persons might think it hard on the toads, but you cannot kill them in any quicker way. So, of course, this is quite strange to our modern ears and taken in stride, since the recipe right underneath it calls for taking quite a large measure of mercury.